Hey guys, Killer Sushi 99 here. I'm sure you've all had your RC cars out this summer, drifting it up on the streets. So we always talk about so much about building and customizing our RC cars, but today I want to touch on something that's really important for any RC enthusiast, whether it's drift cars or anything else out there. So we invest a lot of money usually in our RC cars and stuff, but something that we really need to think about is just maintaining and taking care of our investment, because some of these RC cars are not cheap. So I want to go over some really easy, quick cleaning tips today. So let's get down to it. So what you're going to need is a little dish like so, and some Q-tips, and maybe an old toothbrush. And we're going to be doing some oiling today. So I got some 3-in-1 oil. This is just regular old machine oil. There are specialty bearing oils and stuff that you can buy, but I just use 3-in-1 because it's cheap. So what you want to do is take you some window cleaner and spray it in your dish. Just a little bit will do. You don't need a whole lot. And just dip your Q-tip in there. And you're going to want to go around all the nooks and crannies in there that you can see dirt on. And what's great about the Q-tip is it will absorb almost all that grime and crud in there that you can see on your RC car. And around the bearings and around the pulleys, for sure, there's going to be lots of excess dirt and stuff around the shocks. Anywhere there can be oil present, dirt will stick to it. And so you can quickly see how dirty that is already, and I just started. So you're probably saying, well, what's the big deal? A little dirt don't hurt. But when you have such small mechanical parts like these small gears and belts and pulleys working together, any kind of dirt or grime in there can create friction and ultimately abrasion between parts. So for example, if you got a little bit of oil on something and all the dust and dirt sticks to it, then there you go, you've created basically an abrasive that can create wear on your small mechanical parts in your car. So you want to get down in there and clean it out the best you can. Plus, it's easier if you keep your car clean to see if stuff is damaged or worn, especially if it's not covered in a big layer of dirt. So it's a lot easier to see if something's cracked or broken if it's clean. And there we go again. I can show you the dirt that I'm getting off this thing just from starting off on the front part of the car. So I won't do the whole car, but I just wanted to let you know that you can check around your bearings and pulleys and stuff in the front and the rear of your car. If your car is shaft drive, you can still check around the rear cup housing and stuff in the rear end and the front end outside of the diff. So this doesn't just apply to a belt driven car, it can be shaft drive as well. Make sure that you just visually inspect your belts if you do have a belt drive car, and if possible, always go online and order you some extra belts to keep in your box with you, so in case you get somewhere and you break down, which hopefully doesn't happen. But this is a good time just to kind of sit down and inspect all your belts, make sure no teeth are getting worn or missing. Check your pulleys, make sure your pulleys are in good shape and not worn out. Check all your plugs, make sure your plugs are all good, fans are all good, everything's nice and free. Alright, so now we've got our cleaning done. So let's get into some oiling. So a trick I learned a long time ago is you can get a little messy with trying to oil such a small bearing on a car. So instead of just dumping oil over everything, which you know is not a good thing, what you can do is get yourself a bobby pin like so, or if you don't have a bobby pin, a piece of wire, a paper clip, something of that sort that you can have a little bit of length to it so you can reach. But what you're going to do is for your bearings and stuff, just set your car down on a nice stable place, take your body pin and your oil. I have a little small oil bottle here, and you can put your end of your wire onto the bearing that you want to oil. Like for instance, if I want to oil this very back pulley cup, I just put the wire right down there into the bearing, hold the wire up at about 45 degrees or so, put your little drop of oil on the wire itself, and the oil will run down the wire right where you want it, right into that, right down in that bearing, and it'll go right in there. And since most machine oils are kind of a penetrating oil, they will definitely seek out crevices and go right in there. So that's a good thing. So that's how you keep everything nice and oiled up on your car and running well. And you'll notice a definite smoothness in your car. One good place to check and oil is your wheel bearings, because these bearings are very small and they turn at very high rates of speed, usually for a long period of time. So definitely want to get in here and clean out around your bearings, because there's always going to be hair or carpet or some kind of craziness wrapped around that shaft right there. So there again, instead of just dumping a bunch of oil all over the place and hoping for the best, put your little piece of wire or your body pin right where that bearing is. Put your little drop of oil on there, and it will go right in there, as you can see. No mess, no drama, not too much oil, just the amount of oil. So usually a drop will go right in there. Put your wheel hub back on there. And there again, inspecting everything, making sure everything is good and tight. Just a good way to make sure that your car lasts a long time, because like I said, these cars are not usually too cheap, so you want to maintain them to make them last as long as you can without having to buy extra parts. And everything nice and smooth, just like new. So hopefully my tips today will help you make your car last a lot longer and keep it clean. But for sure, make sure that you get all your little bearings. Even there's little bearings, sometimes if you have an opened end motor like this, you can oil your bearings in your motor. And all your wheel bearings, all your pulley bearings, just put a drop of oil on them and they'll stay nice and happy. So thanks for watching. See you guys.